'cause I believed in all those lies. That you loved me, you never loved me. I don't know how to accept that what you did still colors me black, and it's got me like, I feel so, I made this void now, you don't look back, and it's got me like, I feel so, let's let you let's let you what you did still colors me black, and it's got me like, feel so made this void now, you don't look back, it's and I still see you smiling when you said to me, don't be a crybaby. And I've been told that you moved now, even though I still feel the echoes. I'm fucked up and I can't love myself now. I live like I always lies, and I'm not enough, though you're not enough. Just want to shout it out. That what you did still colors me black, and it's got me like, I feel so, I made this void now, you don't look back, and it's got me like, I feel so, that's what you did. That's what you did.
I need more space for these dogs. Trevor, I know. I'm asking.
We can find a small business loan that works for you.
He wants to know if you could help us open a second location.
We can help you grow. For every banking need, there's only First Source Bank.
FirstSource.com. Member FDIC.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with savings of 20% or more on over 1,000 items. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
You can save even more with lower everyday prices on over 10,000 items, now including select varieties of chicken, bacon, and cheese. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check the GPS directions first, before driving to the mall.
Turn right at the light. In 1,000 miles, you will reach Montreal.
Not Montreal, the mall.
Recalculating. 6,000 miles to Nepal.
No, the mall.
Checking first is smart.
Recalculating.
So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Oh, did you cry when I found you in the night? Staying up till 5 a.m. Told me you and him were friends. Woke up in a burning home. Blame myself, I should have known. To stay in a place, sealed our fate, buried in the catacombs. Setting fire to the life we made. Such a fucking waste of time. Said you love me till my heart decays. Guess my darling changed her mind. Talks my heart online. Was I blind, but too afraid to find that you changed your mind from sleepless nights? Was I part of your design? Push me till I broke alone. No one heard my heart explode. It's a suicide dive, just knew when you die and question everything you know. Setting fire to the life we made. Such a fucking waste of time. Said you love me till my heart decays. Guess my darling changed her mind. Talks my heart online. Dark's my heart online.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like to check the GPS directions first before driving to the mall.
Turn right at the light. In 1,000 miles, you will reach Montreal.
Not Montreal, the mall.
Recalculating. 6,000 miles to Nepal.
No, the mall.
Checking first is smart.
Recalculating.
So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Cold plunges, gratitude journals, screen detoxes. How do you know what actually works? With a 4.9 rating from 1.7 million client reviews, you're in good hands with BetterHelp, where you can talk with real licensed therapists, not AI. Wellness shouldn't be overwhelming, and therapists can help figure out what's best for you. And yeah, it might involve a screen detox. Visit betterhelp.com/Spotify Music for 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/Spotify Music.
Summer's here, and you can now get almost anything you need for your sunny days delivered with Uber Eats. What do we mean by almost? Well, you can't get a well-groomed lawn delivered, but you can get a chicken parmesan delivered. A cabana? That's a no. But a banana? That's a yes. A nice tan? Sorry, nope. But a box fan? Happily, yes. A day of sunshine? No. A box of fine wines? Yes. Uber Eats can definitely get you that. Get almost anything delivered with Uber Eats. Order now. Alcohol in select markets. Product availability may vary by region. See app for details.
Yeah, we'll just go with it that way. Woohoo! We got a subscriber.
Hey, so the reality is that I have to remind him every week to show up. That's what it is. Okay, got it.
Yeah. It's fine.
Oh, that's how that's gotta work.
Oh. Apparently. Welcome.
Oh.
Okay, so I am sitting in the dark tonight because it is super freaking hot. When I got off of work at 1:30, well, by the time I got home, my truck said that it was 95 degrees. It is hotter than a witch's tit in a brass bra in this room. And I was just telling my fellow co-hosts in backstage before we went live, just think in about 6 months, I will be complaining about how cold it is in this room. So,
It's easier to put more layers on than it is to take layers off, especially on camera, because that's what OnlyFans is for.
That's what OnlyFans is for. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's fair, K-Knight. That's fair. I have been where you are at, as have both of my co-hosts in recent years. We are part of an unfortunate club. So you're totally forgiven, my dude. So that being said, welcome to a very neon Hold My Pen Promptcast.
Though you might be able to turn that off because there is a
my brain is disconnected. Just this is cool to the touch.
No. I said there's a massive glare.
Yeah, this is cool to the touch. Oh, I know there's a massive glare. But anyway, it is what it is. We're just going to turn it off. I'm sitting in the dark. I can't see anything. I'm glad you all can see me. I can't see shit except the screens. Which, yes, there is a laptop here, a monitor here, and a monitor here. I have gone full-blown techie mode. Just wait till I get a set of 3 arms and 3 monitors behind my laptop. Then I'll be toasty warm in the winter. Let me shut up and just drink from my dragon goblet here.
Cheers.
I always need more gear. Kane, always need more gear. Duh.
Need more gear. What are you
This
talking
is one
about?
of the this is one of the things that Kane and I have in common. Computers. In fact, this one over here that is running OBS for us tonight was actually gifted to me by Kane in the comments. So we have Kane to thank for making sure that we can function Saturday nights.
So do we also get to blame him when things go wrong with that one?
Yes, we do. Because he rebooted it and refreshed it and refurbished it.
That's what I said. Do we
So-
get to blame him on that one?
Credit and blame depending on the issue.
There will always be credit, but you do have to measure in the blame.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, it does come with the
Absolutely.
territory.
Yes, it absolutely does. Because this laptop I got from work, which was also refurbished by a friend of mine, purchased out of stock that they were letting loose, right? And the mic on the laptop doesn't work. And the second one I bought for my son, its speakers don't work. So, like, whatever. We're just flying by the seat of our pants. I should probably stop drinking what's in this goblet. Imported from Spain.
Oh, that's better. I can read that now. So when I got these new contacts, I lost my vision within my arm's reach, which was the vision I had. It flipped it. So now I can't see what's right in front of me. But I can see what's across the room now, which I've never been able to do without my glasses before. I know you want to say it. That was my choice.
No, I was going to say, did you ever see what was right in front of your face?
Not really. That's how I have an ex-husband and a son.
I did that. Well, yes. I mean, this is very. I mean, this is why I have 3 ex-husbands, a baby daddy, and 3 kids. So yes, we all know that Izzy sees red flags and goes running to them like they're green. So I mean, I was raised on a dairy farm with cows, bulls, red flag. Yeah, okay.
All I heard was
Yes,
a
because
red
it's
flag.
pretty confetti. It's pretty confetti. All right, so yeah, red flag. Red flag. I collect red flags. Like confetti. It's all good.
You collect red flags like a flag corps.
That too.
We can't
That
put a
too.
whole color card in hers, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's all of us.
Gotta collect them all. Yeah, that's right, Canaanite.
Hey, Julie, my love. Can you drop and come back? Because your video is not matching your lips at all.
God damn it.
Like 20-second delay. All right. We will get her fixed up and running.
I cut off too much of this shirt, but it's still cute.
You a hot, sexy mama. Shut the fuck up. Okay, so I got to send the re-invite. We can do that. Click, boom, send. There we go.
Just as long as I don't see the white screen of death tonight, we're fine.
We're fine. Yes. So I will not remove somebody. We will wait until, yeah. All right. So tonight on this week's rendition of Hold My Pen Promptcast, we have 4 submissions. Julie and I were not able to get ours done, so we'll see what the prompts are tonight. See if it's something that we can work our way into it and save it for next week. Because honestly, with the heat, I don't. And the heat and the last 3 weeks that I have had, I don't know that I could do 2 nights this weekend. So we'll see. We'll see. Julie and I either get a 1-day reprieve or a 7-day reprieve. That
And
being
I've been running on
said,
reprieve here lately, so I've got to put something
yeah,
out.
yes, same. I am barely holding on to spot number 5 in our friendly competition of who is submitting the most words. And we've just already decided Kesh gets the trophy this year. I mean, I know it's August, but Kesh just gets the trophy because, like, she's already over 100,000 and none of us are going to catch her. But, you know, second place is still up for grabs.
Hey,
Just
silver
saying.
medal, still a medal.
Still a medal. Still a medal. But yeah, my last 3 weeks have been a little crazy because I put in for a promotion at work, and then I interviewed, and then I was offered the position, and I had to stay quiet about it. And now I don't have to stay quiet about it anymore. I got promoted at
Yay.
work, and so I'm super excited to see where this is going to lead me. And lots of new things on the horizon to learn. And mostly it's all about helping people. And as we know, that's kind of my shtick. So it's just more of the same, just in a different capacity. And I'm pretty happy about it. And yeah, obviously, I've had about 2 weeks to get used to this idea, so I don't seem as happy or excited as one might normally. But at the same time, this has been a long time coming. So thank you for your patience that we're not on as often, and we've been kind of incommunicado in Discord because it's been hot, it's been crazy. We've had road trips to deal with as a team. Um, Apparently there were some hot cops that showed up at one of our houses to do a check-in,
Oh,
you know, so yeah, we've just been a little busy and a little crazy, but that's all right. So Julie, you want to describe what Hold My Pen Promptcast is, why we do what we do, and what our program looks like while I go get more.
So you're gonna stick me with the talking part while you're going to refill. Got you. Okay. The Hold My Pen Promptcast was designed, brainchild, if you will, off of a really bad writer's block almost 2 years ago. And in such, a friend of mine, GT Gretch, gave me my very first writing prompt. We did a little 30-minute exercise, and that's where the pig leg story came from. Well, I don't call it the pig leg story. Izzy calls it the pig leg story, but the pig leg story came from. Um, and as we were going on and on and on with it, it was literally one of those that it was like, no, we could do this. We could get a bunch of people together, release the writing prompt, give everybody a week to deal with it, and if no matter what you got, you bring it to the table and be like, hey, this is where we're at. And now,
And live feedback with the reading every Saturday night. You know, you get this face, which is not a poker face in any way, shape, or form, going, "What the fuck?"
yes. And that's also how we found out that a lot of us can write in very different genres than what we started out with. Patrick, for example, Mail Mail Romance, wrote on the show Kingdom of Shadows, or yeah, Kingdom of Shadows. which is a dark retelling of Peter Pan. Then you have my book Crossroads. Hey, Peter's in the comments. Hey, Bubba. And then you have my book, Crossroads, that is based off a Nickelback song. I have 5 Nickelback songs in which I'm running on, that each story that from the Double Edge series will be based on. Those are dark mafia romances. And then you have a slew of others that have been created off of different shticks that we've come up with. At first, it was just concepts. It was like, this is your writing prompt. This is what you go with. Go forth and be prosperous. And then we slowly started adding first lines and then dialogue, which is a very heavily picked around here. And then it got to the point where I don't think we were that far in when we got to the point where it was like, no, we're going to have audience choose what.
Yep, because we started getting multiple prompts and picking the who's it's, the what's it's, and that was first season. About I want to say 2/3 of the way through the year.
I want to say it was at least halfway through the year, because about 2/3 of the way through the year is when we came up with the name. And it was before we came up with the name. Not far before we came up with the name, but it was before we came up with the name. And this is just what we do. Our whole spick is to get you writing, to get people doing the thing, putting the words on the paper, and then we started the million word challenge. Actually, I'll start it off of a challenge we did in November, because of what we do not name, because we will not give it the recognition. But we came up with our own, which is Harvest the Words. And then at the beginning of the year, we decided we're going to do a million word challenge. And the million word challenge adds up our writing counts from each week, from each author, and got a running total on where we're at, what we're doing. And our goal is to reach that million words. Mind you, we might not reach that this year, but that leaves us, for next year. Like, how close did we get to that this year from our prompters and our people and building the community and everything like that? That's a fool's bet.
I'm not making a bet. I'm just asking if anyone thinks I can.
I do.
I think you're
I
gonna do
do think that you can get. I think that you can get at least 500,000. Absolutely.
I would at least go a quarter. I think she did 250.
Yep, 250,000. I can see it. I mean, and don't get me wrong. Like, we are doing really, really well. I mean, it was a lofty challenge that Julie set before us, but at the same time, we are approaching 400,000, right? So even if 1,000 or 100, 1 million, even if 1 million is not something that we reach this year, we're gonna hit 500,000. And that's really freaking awesome. We've only done thus far 204 submissions by everybody thus far this year. And in 204 submissions, we've done nearly 400,000 words. So it's lofty goals. You want your goals to be just quite out of reach, so that way you're pushing yourself to do it in a fun, safe, non-judgmental way. All right. So I really do. We're gonna get to that 500,000. I know we are. So of course, I end up reading them out at the end of the night because I have COPD, breathing conditions. Sometimes CR McCormick will help us out, and Kesh will help us out. Uh, I also make Kesh read all of her submissions that have German in them because, yeah. All right, hold on. Okay, aspiring writer here. I have a question. When will I know it's time to punish my characters for the choices they made? Yeah, exactly what Julie just said. When the plot
Yeah.
demands. So I've got bad characters, villains in mine. Julie's already got 2 books published, and the villain kind of gets a comeuppance, but they don't really get super punished. They really don't. They're still alive in the universe. So at some point, they're gonna get theirs. And so
Well,
whenever the plot demands, and you'll feel it, you'll feel that that is the right time.
you'll know deep down in your gut this is the moment.
Exactly.
I know we had that because most of Crossroads was read out on that show. We knew it was just a matter of time. It was a ticking time bomb. And every time we would read something with Xander in it, it would be, is this it? Nope. Is this it? Nope. Is this it? Nope. We get all the way to the end and we like, this is it. This is it. And that was the whole thing. With Destined for More, which is my very first book.
Ad. They didn't hear you.
Oh.
Ad break ends.
Sorry.
It's fine.
I got a minute. $48 seconds. I forget we don't have a whole, or we have subscribers, but we don't have a whole lot of subscribers.
Right. Well, and usually our main crew is all Prime subscribers or whatnot. And this is a newcomer to our stream, so
welcome.
He can't hear us right now.
I know. And 14, 13, 11. All right, now back to what I was saying. With Crossroads, it was definitely a most of it was read out online. So it was, everybody knew Xander was going to get comeuppance. It was just when Xander was going to get comeuppance. So every time there was a scene, it was like, is this it? No. Is this it? No. Is this it? Maybe. Until we got through it. And yeah, maybe. With Destin, which was my first book, you have a lot of bad guys in that book. You
Let's
have
not
her
talk about the
mom.
bad guys in that book.
Yeah, we you have her mom, you have Dallas, you have Asher, which is a bystander, but still doesn't correct anything and is very much the I'm the alpha, I will do what the hell I please. That doesn't fly in my world. While some people say I was too easy on the way Asher got dealt with, I don't believe so. I did try to give Dallas a way out, but he opened his stupid mouth. And then he got what he got. The only one that I left alive that I haven't figured out what's going to happen yet, but the only one I left alive was literally her mom.
Yep.
And
I
there's a reason for it. I don't know what the reasoning is. There's a reason.
Well, you'll get there. You'll get there. That's a very big world and series. I did want to just, because you know how I gotta be the Google queen and research queen and everything else. I did go back and look at season one's prompts, and we started in on the dialogue prompts in September. So I was right; it was 2/3 of the way in.
Oh, I thought it was right
We
before
came
because
up.
we named the show in October. So
Yep, 3/4 of the way through through the year, we got the name, we got the whole graphics, we started going crazy nuts. We started planning on moving over here to Twitch from TikTok. So yeah, we that first year was a major learning curve on how we function and do the things. And again, I kept saying it in the newsletter, which you can find in the link in our channel bio. We couldn't do it without our prompters. We couldn't do it without people like Trisha and Sierra McCormick and PA Power and Cash Butler and SP Stavros and all of our friends. And we've even got some anonymous people who keep coming in and submitting to get real time feedback. They're all rough drafts, so grammar isn't crazily important. It's get the idea down on paper so that you can go back and edit later. All right. And then at the end of tonight, Julie, the dice master, will roll the dice 6 times. We will pick 6 prompts from a master list. We will pick 2 concepts, 2 starting lines, and 2 pieces of dialogue. And then you, the audience, votes on it. So we are approaching the half-hour mark, and I think it's about time to get started. Let me switch back to my email because somebody was messaging me like a doofus, like a dork.
I bet I know who it was.
Oh, was the word dork the dead giveaway?
Yes.
Anyway. All right. And I say that with love in my heart because I am the queen of dorks and have been since I was 16 years old. Anyway, so our first submission for tonight for the writing prompt, use this dialogue. I think I finally figured out why you always kept your distance. Okay. And our first submission is from our first prompter, our most loyal follower, Trisha Jones. I sat alone in my kitchen holding a mug of tea that had long gone cold. Today did not go the way it was planned or as I had hoped. My boyfriend and I went to the zoo with my family. That was a mistake. I had hoped being in public would have made them behave. That didn't matter. It was raining. That meant not many people were willing to be out in the rain. It started out okay. We wandered around looking at the animals that were out. We stood in the sea lion area in the tunnel under their pool. We took pictures and some video of the sea lions swimming over us. The kids had fun running around in the rain. Everything went downhill when we stopped for lunch in a cafe that was jungle themed. My boyfriend and I bought one of the lunch specials. When we came back and sat with my family, my mother gave us a disgusted look. Are you too good to eat our sandwiches? I looked down and said, no, ma'am, we just didn't know if you had enough for us. She just huffed and ate her sandwich. About that time, my dad saw how much food was in front of me. I hope you are not planning on eating all that, he said, taking a bite out of his second sandwich. You are getting chunky already. Please hold for the indignation that I feel deep in my soul that a father would say that to his daughter. Okay. Moving on. Moving on. It's not all for me. Some is for my boyfriend. I defeated myself. My boyfriend leaned over to me. You are not chunky. You are perfect just as you are, and kissed my cheek.
Aww.
My dad snorted. Don't lie to her. She needs to be told the truth. My boyfriend was going to say something back, but I stopped him. I whispered, don't. It's not worth arguing. My family ate their lunch and the kids excitedly talked about what animals they still wanted to see. I just sat picking at my lunch, wanting to go home. After my family was done eating, we all got up and continued wandering the zoo for a few more hours before we all went our separate ways. When I got home, I took a warm shower and a mug of hot tea. I couldn't stop thinking about how horrible my family was and wished I stayed no contact with them. A knock on the door brought me back to the present. I went to answer it. I opened the door to see my boyfriend standing there. I stepped aside to allow him in. I shut the door and went back to the kitchen table and sat down. My boyfriend sat across from me. Are you okay? I nodded, not trusting my voice. He sighed. I think I figured out why you always kept your distance from them. Today was mild. They can be so much worse, I responded. How can they be so horrible? He asked. I don't know, but they are the reason I am in therapy. My boyfriend nodded. I'm sorry you had to deal with that. Parenting is a privilege, not a right.
Yep.
Oh, Trisha, I am so
Oh,
sorry.
Trisha, I'm so sorry.
I never had it about my weight. I had it about my acne and my hair, that it was never good enough or clean enough or styled enough. And so it's a different type of thing, but I can certainly take that to its utmost conclusion and emphasis. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
It's the same spirit.
Oh, okay. What did I
Yeah,
miss?
that. Um, we went ahead and read the first
Trisha.
submission. Yep. And Trisha said in the comments that this was based off of a real event that happened to her. Um, and we were very, very in our feels about that for a moment.
Okay.
Now, for the record, I'm just going to say, yes, somebody in the comment, this is a very serious moment, but someone, aka Kane, in the comments said LOL. But he said LOL about the dun 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 Boy Meets World bit. So just so that everybody is on the right
The same
page.
page. Okay.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
don't
yeah, yeah.
need to be attacking the people in the comments. Uh,
Right. No, no, definitely not. And after knowing him for nearly 30 years, I can kind of read his mind. Which is a very scary thing sometimes. FYI. Move.
is it
Move over
something that I
there.
should be glad I did not hear?
Oh, it was about a very cruel set of parents that the main character had been no contact with, and then they decided to all go to the zoo. And Dad started to call the girl Chunky, and that she shouldn't eat as much. And her boyfriend was with them and said, "You're perfect just the way you are." And Dad goes, "Don't lie to her. She needs to know the truth." And it continued on from there. Thankfully, the boyfriend was a very wonderful individual and showed up and said, "I think I get why you kept your distance from them. And I'm sorry you went through that." And so, of course, once again, Trisha has this wonderful net that has caught her and loved her no matter what. And that is Amazeballs. And we are super happy for you, Trisha.
Unfortunately, I went through very, very similar. So Trisha, just point at the bat. Just point the bat in the right direction.
Yep. The wiffle ball bat will come out if necessary.
The wiffle ball bat will come out. I am fiercely protective of our little cinnamon roll. Oh, I understand, Trisha. Mine ain't no prize either. Well, I take that back. The one that was no longer here. The ones that remain, yeah.
All right. So, who's ready for our wonderful anonymous that has been regaling us with this mafia werewolf thing? We ready?
I mean, I am, but by the title of it, I don't know if I should be.
This particular chapter is entitled Shackles and Shadows. I really don't like Reaver, but I really like Reaver because I can envision him as Negan, and Negan is sexy. Reaver's bloody grin split wide, raw muscle and torn flesh where his tongue should have been. He dragged himself across the cold stone, nails scraping, smearing a trail of red. Her heart stuttered. He looked up at her, eyes glassy yet burning with something desperate. Then his hand shot out, locking around her ankle like a vice. The touch was ice and fire all at once. "Let go," she hissed, yanking, but his grip only tightened, nails biting through the denim of her jeans. Panic surged hot in her chest. Without thinking, she shook him off and brought her knee up, then drove her booted booted foot. Sorry, let me try that one again. Without thinking, she shook him off and brought her knee up, then drove her booted foot into his chest. I'm just not going to be able to. I've had too much grape and orange juice that's been fermented. The impact cracked through the silence. Reaver rolled back with a wet cough, his body curling around the pain. Anthony was there in an instant, not for her, but for the two guards in the room. His hand shot out, fisting into one man's hair so viciously, the guard dropped to his knees with a yelp. "You idiots!" Anthony's voice thundered, echoing off the stone. "You cut out his tongue before we could get anything from him." His amber eyes flared, lethal and bright. "Do you have any idea what that means? Now I have to punish you for inflicting harm before I could get the information we needed." The guard stammered. "But Alpha, you never come to the holding cells." Anthony's head snapped toward him, predator sharp. "Do I need a reason to visit my own holding cells? I am the Alpha, after all." The guard swallowed hard, the sound loud in the tense room. I think I finally figured out why you always kept your distance." "Oh?" Anthony's tone was all teeth. The guard let out an audible gulp, realizing he'd just spoken himself into a corner. Clary's gaze snapped back to Reaver. His body shook, not from pain, but from laughter. A wet, rasping sound bubbled in his throat, the gurgle grotesque without a tongue to form words. "What's so damn funny?" The guard under Anthony's grip twisted his head enough to hiss at the prisoner. Reaver's eyes glittered. He lifted a trembling, bloody finger and pointed straight at the guard. Then, slow and deliberate, he dragged that finger across his own neck, grinning wider as if the act alone was a promise. The guard snarled back, "Screw you, Reaver. If you'd done your job, this whore would be dead and that other useless bitch would be dead too, if the boss hadn't fallen so hard." "Boss?" Anthony's voice cut in, quiet and lethal. His gaze darkened, amber, burning like molten metal. I think a guard just got fired.
I think a guard's fixing to get 86th
Yeah.
after he gives information, but
I mean, fired 86. I mean, he's no longer there.
He will no longer be employed. He will no
Exactly.
longer be employed by the Don. Clary stepped away from the confrontation, her eyes scanning the stone wall lined with an arsenal of torture devices. She ran her hands across the tools at her disposal until her hand closed around the cold metal handles of a pair of bolt cutters. Beside them, she found a coil of silver wire. She turned back toward the guard. "I am sick of all the men surrounding me in this life, either causing me pain, trying to control me, or just being a pain in my ass." Anthony's gaze flicked to her, questioning. "Clary?" "Not you." She jabbed the bolt cutters toward him. "But yes, you too," taking the clippers to snap and clip at the air. His brow arched. "I am not some helpless woman," she added, voice low and unwavering. A slow, dangerous smile tugged at the corner of his mouth. "Never said you were, my Luna. How can I help?" Clary's knuckles whitened around the bolt cutters. Her voice was steady, cold. "You're going to help me make this bastard talk. Since he seems to know Reaver. He silenced Reaver, so now he gets to talk for him." Anthony's smile didn't reach his eyes. "Gladly." He gave the guard's hair a sharp yank, forcing his head back so their gazes locked. "You heard, my Luna." The guard's jaw clenched, his breath coming in short, shallow pulls. "You wouldn't." Anthony's laugh was humorless. "I always would." Clary, on the other hand, well, I guess there is a first for everyone. Clary stepped closer, the silver wire uncoiling in her hands with a faint metallic hiss. She knelt beside the guard, letting the end of the wire brush his cheek. His skin flinched away instinctively, already reddening where it touched. Yep, those books in the library were telling the truth. Such a small little thing about silver," she murmured, winding it lazily around one gloved hand. "It doesn't need much effort to hurt, but the longer it stays, the worse it gets." She leaned in, her voice a low whisper only he could hear. "And I've got all the time in the world." The guard's eyes darted to Anthony. "You'd let her do this? To one of your men?" Anthony tilted his head. "You stopped being one of my men the second you took orders from someone else. Now tell me," his tone sharpened like a blade, "who's your boss?" The guard started, but Clary looped the silver wire once around his forearm and pulled just enough to make the flesh sizzle. He hissed, teeth gritted. "You don't want to see what happens when I stop being nice," Clary said, tightening the wire by another fraction. Anthony crouched so they were eye level. "Name." The guard's resolve cracked. Sweat slicked his brow. Victor," he gasped. Anthony's expression didn't change, but Clary could feel the tension ripple off him like heat from a forge. "Victor," he repeated softly like it was a curse. Clary's eyes narrowed. Victor who? The guard's lips clamped shut, his jaw hardening. Her grip on the bolt cutters tightened. Fine. She looked to Anthony. Open his mouth. I have an idea to make him talk. Anthony didn't hesitate. He jerked the guard's head back and pried his jaw open with one hand, his grip bruising. Clary uncoiled the silver wire with a steady, deliberate motion. She stepped in close, her voice low. You want to keep your secrets? Let's see how far you'll go. The wire slipped between the guard's teeth and she wound it around his tongue. The reaction was instant. Steam hissed where it touched, the sizzle sharp in the silent cell. He bucked in Anthony's hold, muffled screams breaking against the metal in his mouth. The acrid stench of burnt flesh curled through the air, mingling with the coppery tang of blood as it began to pool and drip from the corners of his lips. Anthony watched, his expression unreadable, until Clary finally stepped back. With one sharp tug, he pulled the silver free. Blood spattered the stone floor. Anthony crouched, his gaze locked on the guard's tear-streaked face. Are you ready to talk yet? The guard's breath came in ragged gasps. I only know him as Victor, he stammered, spitting blood. Anthony's eyes narrowed, studying the guard like he was deciding whether to kill him now or later. Then, without warning, his fist shot forward. The crack of knuckles against bone echoed in the cell, and the guard went limp, slumping in Anthony's grip. He let the body drop to the floor with a dull thud. Anthony straightened, turning his gaze to the other guards in the room. His voice was low, calm, but every word cut like a blade. Lock him up, somewhere dark, somewhere quiet, and if anyone else here thinks they can play double agent in my territory, his gaze swept over them, cold and unblinking. You will be dead before you hit the ground. The silence that followed was thick, oppressive. The other guards scrambled to obey, dragging the unconscious man away without meeting Anthony's eyes. I can't redeem dun 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 for another 13 frickin' minutes, but dun dun dun!
What the actual fuck?
Yeah. That was so metal.
I mean, I kind of saw where that was going, but I was like, no, there it is.
The audacity that the guard had, thinking that Anthony was going to give him reprieve, the misogyny that he was saying, with the, you're going to let her talk to me that way? And he's like, excuse me, that's my Luna, you shut the fuck up.
No, well, it really wasn't the audacity. It's that the audacity of him opening his fucking mouth, letting all that information out, and actually thinking any good alpha is going to let him fucking live. Then you add in the fact of, you're going to let this bitch talk to me like that. No, you're lucky you still got your balls attached to your fucking body and you're not bleeding out next to the guy you cut his damn tongue out.
Right?
Sorry. I have a lot of feelings right now. Whatever.
And ad starts in 50 seconds. Perfect time. It's 2.5 minutes of ad. Get drinks, take a bathroom break, and
breathe.
Sierra McCormick needs to make us a be right back screen. Just saying. We need one of those for this. She'll happily do it when she gets a moment.
Yeah, she got a lot going on right now.
She's got a lot going on. It's fine. It's fine. I just know that I wouldn't be able to recreate what she did with our graphics. So, yeah. All right. So, quick drink break. Hydrate or dihydrate. Nobody's been using that one.
Well,
so,
we haven't been
we'll
on
be back.
long enough. I mean, we really haven't been on long enough for anybody to be using a lot of the bowls. I will use this one though, real quick, since we couldn't use the dun dun dun. I know which one I can use.
Emotional damage.
Yes, that's the one I'm after right there.
Emotional
That's it
damage.
right there.
Emotional damage. I don't do it as well as he does.
Emotional damage.
Yep.
That was some shit.
Yeah. That.
I mean, bravo.
Yeah.
Suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Somebody's always being freaking suspicious.
Yeah, that would be anonymous.
Anonymous has really gone from the playful part of it, so to speak,
To the sadistic.
very quickly.
The
It
zero.
was 2 weeks ago, I couldn't say the word without
Snort.
freaking laughing between me and Cash.
I needed that day though.
Oh my god! But that was 20 freaking minutes, and Julie can't breathe. I mean, we all needed that good laugh, but it was like, I'm like, I can read it, I can read it, I can't read it. I can read it, I can read it, I can't read it.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that was when I was in the hotel, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I needed that. That was a day. That laugh was needed.
Thank you for the subscription.
Yay! Thank you, Leon.
Now you get to see what happens when you don't have commercials. But that, I'm so interested in seeing what will happen next. And honestly, what I would have liked to see in that scene is not necessarily who you were working for, is how much you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if we're gonna see this guard come back around and further tortured.
Ooh, I don't know if you can torture someone that much more.
Well,
Well,
technically, if they're werewolves, so technically he'll heal.
Oh, that's right. I don't know the shifter lore for a lot of the shifter books,
I'm not
so
exactly sure with this particular story, their lore, but in typical lore, werewolves can heal. You can't heal, like, it's not like a starfish, you cut a leg off and it'll grow it back. So
yeah,
that's why Doofus still doesn't have a tongue.
yeah.
But
I mean, sorry, go on ahead.
yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, after that, I feel less insecure about a choice I made in my story.
Well, now I will say this: shifter lore is up to the author, right? So we've got some shifter that has moon goddess. We've got some shifter where it's actual true werewolf. And in some lore, you can't heal from silver damage.
Right. It'll
So we'll have to see what this author does with that, if they can heal from silver damage or not, and just where that's at. But again, like the starfish thing that you were saying, Reaver may not be able to get his tongue back the way Anthony and everybody's kind of acting that he won't. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to this, and also looking forward to when this author steps out of the shadows. So
hopefully they don't get lynched when they step out of the shadows. That's what
I mean,
That's
was
a risk
fun
they're
to
going to
read,
have.
though.
That's a risk they're going to have to take.
Absolutely. But that was honestly fun. I know I have given a lot of people a lot of grief about making me okay, so the mean girl aesthetic, right? It's being mean without a source of power backing you. You're just mean because you got money. You're just mean because of you're miserable in your own life, right? But this level of this was actually being menacing for a purpose, for a reason, and there's a deeper seated, thing behind it. So, um, yeah, this isn't Deadpool with the baby hand.
Look said he cut his tongue off, so it'd be like a baby tongue, and I'm sitting there like, this is a Deadpool.
This isn't Deadpool. Wow. Wow. Okay, so next up, I get to rest my vocal cords and drink some wonderful Bacchus juice. So because we are up to Ms. Kesh Butler.
Oh dear Lord. Okay, I thought I would be last because like, who's last?
Patrick.
Oh, he actually got something in. Okay.
Yes, but he said it's more like a fever dream. So
That could be interesting. All right. Let's get serious now. All right. So, Gretchen Uhrmacher looked down at the screen of her cell pad. The notification was from the Pocket Astrologer app she had installed a few weeks before out of boredom during one of her private tutoring lessons. Scorpio, don't get out of bed today, Stinger. It's not worth the effort. It's a bit late for a warning like that. Brittany, her best friend, looked down at the screen of her own cell pad and then started giggling along with Gretchen. The girls continued their slow walk through the main promenade of the new Seattle Mall, window shopping through all manner of stores and snack stalls. They briefly leaned over the railing, looking down into the quad where the mall's food court was located, spying a mobile taco stall on the far wall. The two decided to make a beeline for the small food vendors so that they could order some food before they had to head back to the hover limo that Gretchen's father had hired. The limo had been chartered to shuttle her around the city whenever she wanted to leave the penthouse and see the city they had moved to a few years prior. Out of the corner of her eye, Gretchen noticed the heavily muscled man in a black suit and tie watching her and Brittany. His gaze inspired her to look around, noticing two more muscle men in suits in different places, also watching what the two of them were doing. The hair on the back of her neck stood up as a chill went down her spine. Why am I even worried about this? They're probably men from Father's security forces. Her thoughts began racing, counter to the calming thoughts she was trying to use to slow her panicked mind. Normally it's Christian or Gerhard, and normally Father's lets me know of any changes. The thought sped back up. But today isn't just any day, isn't it, Gretchen? Brittany had been speaking to her, and she'd entirely missed everything the other teen had been saying to her. Her mind stopped worrying about the three men, and her attention moved back to her friend and the conversation. Nein, es ist mein Geburtstag. I'm 17 now. Gretchen flipped between German and English, forgetting in her excitement that Brittany didn't know her native language. Nothing can stop my excitement about today, Gretchen screeched, getting the attention of everyone else within earshot. Whatever you said. Anyways, not even that group of goth kids. Like, they can't ruin your day. Happy birthday, bestie! Brittany joined in her excited celebrations after pointing out the group of kids dressed head to toe in various shades of black sitting in the corner of the food court. Order, please, the woman behind the cart said, getting their attention. Oh, yes, 3 chicken tacos with everything and a Mexican cola for both of us. Brittany pointed at herself and then Gretchen. The other girl paid, waving her cell pad over the pay point before the birthday girl had any chance to say anything. Brittany, you don't have to do that. Gretchen's shoulders slumped like she was disappointed that the other girl had covered her meal. Girl, it's your freaking birthday. Get over it and learn to accept a gift. The girl scolded, grabbing the bag with both their meals and drinks. She looped her arm around Gretchen's, dragging her away from the taco stand and toward an empty table where they could eat their meal. Thank you. Gretchen flopped into one of the chairs, taking her half of the food as she looked around the food court. She spotted two of the three men standing next to a column, talking to each other and pointing in the general direction the girls were sitting. The whole situation still wasn't sitting well with Gretchen, making the tacos sit like rocks on her stomach. Again, she tried to get her mind off the trio in the suits, but through the rest of her and Brittany's time at the mall, she kept coming back to them and seeing them watch them as they shopped and hung out. As she reached into her bag to pull her cell pad to text her father about the men, Brittany pulled at her, distracting her yet again. Oh, Gretchen, look at the mini Rexes! She excitedly pointed at the bioengineered mini tyrannosaurs running around a pen set up in the center of the promenade. OMG, they're so cute, she answered her friend as they ran to the wall of the pen, looking in to see the different skin patterns of the tiny dinosaurs. Oh, I like the orange and black one. The one that almost looks like a tiger. Brittany reached her hand in, holding it out for the small tyrannosaur to sniff her. The animal walked up to her hand, taking a few sniffs before gently laying its head in her palm and allowing her to pet it down the center of its head and back. They must have been bred for docility. That's a pretty good call on the breeder's part, Gretchen responded, reaching her hand in for one of the others to get her scent. The bluish-gray reptile did the same as its litter mate, sniffing her hand and then snapping its jaws at her and walking away. Well, he was a little grumpy. Gretchen pulled her hand back, trying not to let the rejection from the tyrannosaur get to her. There are others. I'm sure there's one that'll like you. Brittany was still petting the tiger-striped one, the mini Rex having rolled over on its back and allowing her to scratch its belly. Sure, whatever you say, Gretchen answered her unenthusiastically as another one snapped its microscopic teeth in her direction. I'm going to go sit down for a few minutes. She backed away from the pen and walked to a bench, sitting as the other girl continued to have fun playing with the purse-sized dinosaur. She looked up to see the first man from the trio in the suit standing on the opposite side of the pen from Brittany, his arms crossed over his chest, making the shoulders of his suit strain from his muscles. He pulled his shades down on his nose, looked her in the eyes, and winked, the grin across his face giving her the creeps. Gretchen hurriedly stood, walking back to where Brittany was, grabbing the other girl by the arm. Come in. She began to pull the other girl, trying to pull her away from the tyrannosaur, soaking up her attention. What's going on? You know I don't understand you when you speak German. Brittany was irritated at being pulled away from the cute animal. Something isn't right. There are 3 men who have been following us for the past few hours. I noticed them when we got our tacos. Just try to act normal, Gretchen whispered to the other girl as they ducked into a boutique that specialized in designer cybernetic mods. Good afternoon, ladies. You look a bit young to have any biomods or cybernetics. Are you in the right place? The middle-aged woman came out from the back of the room. It looked like she had been working on fixing something that had been pulled from someone. The blood on the back of her hands and arms giving the girl's reason for pause. Oh, I thought this was a jewelry boutique. I am so sorry. Gretchen wheeled herself and Brittany back around and immediately left. She scanned for a store that looked more like something her and her friend would actually buy things at. but there was nothing in the immediate area that fit the bill. So she made Plan B and headed straight for the tram that went between the different domes of the mall. Okay. Thought I was going to sneeze. Sorry. They stepped into one of the cars as the people mover stopped at the small station, taking seats and watching as the doors closed. The tram pulled away, giving her a perfect view to see the trio that had been following them watch it leave. The tram had left the station just in time, but Gretchen had the unsettling feeling that someone was missing. Then it hit her. She hadn't seen her security detail or her personal bodyguards since shortly after they had arrived. That was when she knew something was very, very wrong. We have to leave here now. Gretchen looked at Brittany, fear in her eyes. The other girl wasn't any better off than she was, nodding in agreement. After another 5 minutes of the girls sitting in stunned silence, the tram pulled into the station for the next dome of the mall. The door sliding open as Gretchen and Brittany scrambled to exit the car. They made their way off to the platform and into the open promenade that looked almost identical to the last one. Let's go. Gretchen pulled the other girl by the arm, trying to keep her moving. They continued to walk up the promenade toward the main doors of the dome, leading out to the city of New Seattle. As they walked, Gretchen pulled her cell pad out of her purse and hit the call button for the limo to meet them at the entrance they were quickly making their way to. They made it to the entrance with no issues, Gretchen not seeing anyone else following them. She hoped they had given the trio the slip, as both girls jumped into the back of the limo. Fräulein, nach Haus? It was her personal driver, Ursula. Gretchen sighed in relief. Ja, bitte, she replied a tad too eagerly. She pulled her cell pad back out and opened her messaging app to send her father a text. Gretchen. Fatih, we're being followed at the mall and I saw no sign of Christian or Gerhard. Has there been a change in my security? She pressed send, a reply coming back from him almost immediately. Her father must have been on the phone already when she had texted. Fatih, Schatzi, no, there hasn't. Come home, now. Gretchen, we're on our way back to the apartment. Her father's dramatic emphasis on the word now gave her the reassurance that her instincts had served her well and she made the right decision. Gretchen took Brittany's hand, squeezing it while trying to reassure her that everything was going to be fine. We'll be safe once we get back to Urumarka Tower. We can go up and we'll be good. Gretchen laid her head on her friend's shoulder, both girls sighing in exhaustion. The limo pulled up to the front of the high-rise building that both girls lived in with their families. She knew once they were in the lobby, they would be safe after alerting the security detail stationed in the building's lobby. Gretchen and Brittany ran into the building, scanning for Christian or one of the other men that should have been there, but she saw no one. She froze, aware that there was no one, not even the desk clerk. The floor was empty. She took a deep breath, trying to keep herself from panicking. Where is everyone? Why is there no security? Brittany's voice was shaking. Ich weiß nicht. Gretchen absent-mindedly replied, cautiously moving towards the elevator as she watched the numbers above the doors change as it descended from one of the higher floors in the building. Thinking fast, Gretchen pulled Brittany to the side of the door, waiting to make sure the elevator wasn't some type of trap. She pulled her cell pad out, texting her father again. Gretchen, there is absolutely no one in the lobby, not even the desk clerk. Fatih, get out of there now. Take the stairs up a few floors and then try the service elevators. Gretchen looked at the other girl, gently tapping her on the arm with the back of her hand. My father's saying to take the stairs. Let's go, she urged, leading the other teen to the stairwell and going through the door to the stark concrete series of ascending stairs. Half the lights leading up to the higher floors weren't working, leaving places along their route dark and potentially dangerous. They heard the ding of the elevator from down the hall, startling them. Gretchen placed her finger over her mouth, indicating to Brittany to stay quiet. She then slowly closed the door, trying hard not to make any noise that would have alerted anyone who had just left the elevator. Once the door had been shut, she turned and silently pointed up, letting Brittany go first and following a few steps behind to make sure that no one was following them. Gretchen began her breathing exercises her urban combat instructor had given her. Occasionally, she would stop, lean over the rail, and listen, trying to pick up on any sounds that she could. Unless they were so trained that they didn't make any sounds whatsoever, she was sure no one was following. They had made it to the 6th floor before she stopped Brittany and motioned for her to stop at the next. Once they made the landing, Gretchen went ahead, slowly opening the door to the plush-looking hallway. Looking around, she again saw no signs of anyone. It felt like the entire building was deserted. We need to make it to the service elevators. Follow me, she whispered, trying to be barely audible. Brittany passed her again, slowly, and she slowly closed the door, trying not to make any sounds. She then led the other girl down the corridor to where the larger elevators were. This is where we need to be super quiet and hope the noise the elevator doesn't attract attention. This will bring us to the back end of the penthouse where the kitchen is. This time, she leaned into Brittany's ear, letting her know that the next steps were. She nodded that she understood and helped Gretchen keep a lookout while they waited. With the ding announcing the arrival, followed by the clunky sound of the doors sliding open, they both quickly ran into the waiting car. Gretchen reached over to the panel, hitting the button for the floor that her family's penthouse, repeatedly pressing the button to force the doors to slide close. Just as the doors were closing, a man dressed in a suit identical to the ones that the men at the mall had been wearing came around the corner, stopping and watching in surprise as the doors closing on the girls. There goes our ability to move around without being detected. Gretchen looked at Brittany, worry creeping through her mind. What would be waiting for them when they reached the top floor? That was when the idea struck her. She hit the button for the floor four below the one her family lived on, hoping that there was no one waiting for them. Gretchen figured that it wouldn't take whoever might be waiting very long to figure out what was going on and call for support on the other floors. She hoped it would be enough time to give the two of them a fighting chance to make it to her father and safety. What are you doing? Brittany had a look of dread in her eyes as they were going to be deviating from the original plan. It's fine. It will be fine. I'm hoping that we can sneak up to the penthouse from that floor. We'll take the stairwell again from there. What Gretchen didn't vocalize was her fear that there would be someone waiting for them. Gott nimm den Himmel schuld sonst, she mouthed silently as they stopped at the floor they had called for, Gretchen closing her eyes as the doors slid to the sides, revealing the waiting area. She opened her eyes and saw nothing. Cautiously, she peeked around the corner. No one. She used her hand to motion for Brittany to follow. Gretchen continued to creep along the wall, watching for any sign that someone might be walking the floor like the man they'd caught off guard. Brittany was unfortunately not as quiet, and her heavy breathing, jumping at every little noise seemed like the loudest noise in the world in the quiet corridor. Gretchen knew she was trying, but they were going to get caught if she made any other noises. We're almost to the stairwell. Just a few more steps and we'll be out of the hall. Gretchen quietly tried to soothe her friend, long enough to get where they needed to go. I'm scared too, Britt. We just have a little further to go. Just breathe slowly. She confessed her fear, hoping that it would help her friend. They made it to the stairwell, not seeing anyone. Gretchen worried about the eerie emptiness of the building, wondering if it was just odd timing or if the building had somehow been emptied out by the people chasing them. Um, Once past the door and on the landing, the girls began to climb the rest of the way to the penthouse, and again they ran into no one. Gretchen trying to figure out how to react to the alarm bells going off in her head. They reached the door that led to the back of her home. Cautiously, she opened the door, peering into the kitchen that her mother had redone to look like their old kitchen back in Germany. She motioned to Brittany to keep following, the other girl listening and not questioning any of the decisions Gretchen had made at that point. I think we're going to be okay, she relaxed, Brittany following her lead. Father's office is this way. Gretchen pointed to her side where they stepped into the living room. Both girls gasped in horror at the sight that greeted them. Gretchen began having trouble breathing as she looked at the bodies of her parents and little brother laid out in the center of the room, blood and gore all over the walls and floors. The only conclusion she had come to is that someone wanted the entire family dead, including herself. On the opposite side of the room, in the archway that led to the family's bedroom, she could see two sets of feet, the bottom of the black leather dress shoes covered in blood, the feet indicating more bodies. She realized they were more than likely the heads of her father's security forces, Gerhard and Kristen. Gretchen became distracted by Brittany throwing up on the carpet next to where she stood, frozen in place, her eyes coming back to the sight of her family. She began shaking her head, not wanting to believe the massacre she was seeing. Hallo, Gretchen, wie geht's? A familiar, male voice came from behind her in the kitchen. Confusion replaced everything else. Christian? She turned to face him, realizing he was dressed the same way that the other men that had been following them were. He was flanked by two of the three men from the mall. Was ist das? What happened here? Why are you with them? The questions came out of Gretchen's mouth in rapid succession. It's quite simple, Schatz. It's a matter of business. Your father refused to sign over his shares in Uhrmacher Industries, so his silent partner has decided he's taking them. Christian took a few steps, closing the space between them. Oh, there's an echo. Sorry. I'll pause for a second. Is that better? Is the echo better now? Okay. Okay, I'm going to back up a little. It's quite simple, mein Schatz. It's a matter of business. Your father refused to sign over his shares in Uhrmacher Industries, so his silent partner has decided he's taking them. Christian took a few steps, closing the space between them. Since when did he have a partner? Who are they? Gretchen placed a hand on Brittany, gently trying to push her back away from the man who was supposed to have been protecting her and the rest of her family. The partner has always been there. His short reply, forcing her to stop trying to move away. She paused to think, realizing that she knew who it was. How could he? My father viewed him as a member of the family. Gretchen stood her ground as Christian finished closing the remaining distance between the two of them. Mein Schatz, all you need to do is sign over those shares and come with me. He promised me he would spare you if I could get you to sign them over to him. He whispered in her ear. He moved to give her a kiss, but she backed away before it happened. All you have to do is agree to sign them over and you can live, and we can. He was cut off by the sound of a sonic blaster's whine, causing both of them to look in that direction. Standing in the entry was a tall, slender man dressed in a tailor's suit similar to the muscles he employed. Helmut Müller, her father's supposed best friend and silent business partner. Next to Mueller was another of the men under his employ, the blaster in his hand, ready to shoot on command. Brittany started to retch more, her nerves having gotten the better of her. Someone quiet her down. The sounds of her sickness is getting irritating. He motioned towards Brittany, one of the many underlings coming from seemingly out of nowhere and picking her up by the arm and dragging her out of the room. The next thing Gretchen heard was Brittany's short scream, cut off by the bang of a pistol, and she went rigid with shock that her friend had just been killed for no reason other than she couldn't handle the situation. Gretchen, dear, I'm sorry about her, but as you know, I'm staging a hostile takeover of Full Market Industries, and there is now only one thing standing in my way. You. He walked up to her, the menace in his tone sending a chill down her spine. In her fight to keep her composure, she felt her body start to shake, her fear becoming palpable. You should be afraid, very afraid. But if you choose wisely between your two options, you can live. But only if you choose the right answer. He pressed his fingertips together contemplatively, turning away from her and walking to where Brittany had been led off just moments before. He peered around the corner, nodding his head slowly and making a tisk-tisk noise. I think I can guess the question. Gretchen looked away from him and then over her shoulder where she felt a hand wrapped gently around her arm. Shuts, please. Just sign everything over to him and you can just disappear. We can disappear together and no one will ever bother you again. Just sign the shares over. Christian whispered in her ear again. Don't call me that. You lost that privilege once you walked into this room. She pulled her arm away from his grasp, taking a step away. Then I can't stop him from doing what he's going to do. He stepped back to where he had been standing before coming up to her. Ah, a young lover's quarrel. How wunderschön. Mueller's voice dripped with sarcasm as he turned back towards Gretchen, moving her way again. No, Gretchen, dear, I am going to ask you once, and once only. Will you sign over your shares of the company to me, or are you going to choose to join your family? He looked over to where her parents and brother laid, and then back at her, and he walked up, reaching for her head, and then pulling something from her hair, examining whatever it was. I think I finally figured out why you always kept your distance from me and my brother. You didn't want to get attached because this was your plan the entire time. Gretchen felt herself growing angry, wanting to strike out, but not knowing exactly what she could do to hurt him. Very astute of you, mein Mädchen. I will ask you again, since that was not an answer to my question. Will you sign your shares over to me? Mueller began to pace, looking up at her every so often as he gave her time to think. Gretchen looked at her family and then the door where Brittany had been dragged off to. She looked down at her feet and then back up at Mueller and sighed. Schadechunser Teufel. She spit at his feet, garnering a shocked response from him. Gretchen, I'm appalled at you right now. How unlike you to be so rude. He came at her, slapping her across the face and knocking her off her feet. She landed so hard she became winded, gasping for air as she tried to push herself back up. She struggled, finally managing to roll off her stomach and onto her side, allowing herself to catch her breath. Toten Mueller pointed to Christian and then to Gretchen, whose eyes went wide as he clenched his jaw, a look of contempt flashing across his face. She looked between Christian and Mueller, and a staring contest seemed to be going on between the two men. Christian, I said to kill her. The older man raised his voice, demanding him to follow his order. Christian hesitated, not being able to respond. If you don't take care of her now, I will have someone else who can, and I will have them dispose of you afterwards. Mueller yelled at the younger man, who hesitantly pulled his pistol from the holster under his suit's jacket. I'm sorry, Gretchen. He pointed the weapon at her, closing his eyes tightly and then opening them again so he could see what he was doing. No, you're not, she replied, looking back at Mueller and then at Christian again. That was when a sudden deafness no one had expected from her. Why'd my page jump? Just a second. That was when a sudden deafness no one had expected from her. She turned herself into a position where she was able to get her foot to impact Mueller's groin area, sending the man to the ground in pain. The self-defense and combat courses her father had made her take were finally paying out. Christian seemed to be struggling with whether to relax his hand with the gun or not, continuing to point the weapon at her. He finally decided to put it back in its holster, standing over Gretchen and looking down at her. "Kill them both!" Mueller groaned as one of the other henchmen knelt down and helped him to stand and walk back toward the main entrance apartment. To the apartment. That was when all hell broke loose in a hail of bullets and energy blaster fire. Several shots catching Christian and knocking him down prone on his back. Gretchen rolled, stopping once she was flush against the back of the couch, and she managed to get to her feet, crouching and hoping the couch would be enough cover for her to get to Christian's pistol off his body. Crawling along the floor and keeping as close to the back of the couch as she could, she tried to remember everything her combat instructor had told her during her lessons when she had still been back home. New Pacifica, especially New Seattle, were very violent places, almost to the point where most people believed it to be lawless. Many came from all over the world to both hide from more strict states and to make shady business deals and backroom contracts. The things she had believed her father was doing to try and cut costs on productions of the timer units Umeka Industries produced. She managed to finally reach Christian, the pool of blood that had collected under his body telling her he was either dead or dying. She reached into his coat, feeling for the holster, her hand finally finding the grip of the pistol, his bad habit of not securing his weapon giving her a quick pull. "Greta, look out!" Christian gasped, making her look at him and then behind her. She turned around, pulling the gun, and took a shot, hitting the man who had taken aim at her from the end of the couch in his arm. His balance was thrown off enough that the shot he had taken hit her in the thigh. Her teeth ground as the pain shot up and down her leg. Someone with an automatic machine gun let loose a hail of bullets while someone else had begun rapid fire with the blaster, the concentrated energy shots putting burn holes through the couch and into the wall behind it. Several of the shots found their way through the furniture and into Gretchen's other leg and her side. She continued to pull herself away from where the weapon's fire was, hopeful she would be able to find a safe spot where bullets and blaster shots wouldn't hit her. Another bullet found her leg that had taken the blaster fire, and the radiating feeling it gave her, telling her that it had more than likely majorly damaged below her hip. She screamed, the pain the worst she had ever felt. "I need a drink. Just a second." Gretchen continued to pull herself along, finally reaching a spot where she felt she could try and take a few more shots before someone hit her in a more vital area. She laid on her side, trying to take a position her instructor had told her was only for worst-case scenarios where standing or crouching wasn't possible. She extended the pistol, her finger unlocking the safety, and took a shot. The bullet found the knee of one of the men shooting at her, taking him down to the ground. She took a second shot, the bullet finding the side of the man with the blaster, making him drop the weapon. The blaster rifle discharged, sending a volley of shots into the ceiling and wall, scorch marks running across the top of one of the other couches in the room. She felt her left shoulder get thrown back as a bullet hit her. It was too high to have caused any damage to her heart, but her arm went numb and finally limp as she felt a wet spot start to form where she had begun to bleed. Her hold on the grip of the pistol tightened, not wanting to lose the weapon in the process of taking another shot. She moved her functioning arm, taking aim at one of the remaining two still sending bullets her direction. She aimed and took a third shot, missing her target, the bullet burying itself in the wall behind them. Gottverdammt! Gretchen was becoming frustrated with how her day was unfolding. She attempted to take aim again, trying to make sure she had made her next shot. She took a breath, blinked, and pulled the trigger, her shot somehow getting one of the men in his gut and taking him out. Now she only had to deal with one. You've made the wrong choice, mein Mädchen. Say hello to your father for me. She looked up to see Mueller standing over her, a small two-shot pistol in his hand. And you are wrong. I'm very attached to you. That is why I gave you the chance to sign your shares over. I'm very disappointed that you didn't. But that is how business goes these days. He took another step, allowing himself to straddle over her. Oh, and Gretchen, dear, fröhlicher Geburtstag. He aimed the pistol and pulled the trigger. She felt the back of her head hit the floor as the bullet hit her. The last thing Gretchen saw was the light shining out of the corner of her eye and the breaking of glass. She closed her eyes and lost consciousness. The door swung open to reveal pink giraffes and red elephants on the wall outside the hospital room Gretchen had woke up in. The nurse who walked in gave her a big smile as she bent over and started to look at the bandaged wounds. Well, good morning, sweetheart. Pleasure to see you awake finally. Her drawl was thick, making it hard for Gretchen to understand what she was saying. She seemed nice enough, though, so the girl allowed her to do what she needed to. The nurse lifted the blankets off her legs, or where her legs were supposed to be, and looked at the stumps that remained at the teenage girl's thighs. Looking good, the doctors tried their best to save as much of each leg as they could, but one leg was so bad. But they'll will fit you with some cyber mods once you're more healed, and you should be able to move around just like before. Satisfied, she replaced the blanket and moved on to examine the wound on her shoulder and then the two on her head. Now, the wound in your head was an absolute miracle for you, hun. It went right through your skull, but somehow missed your brain. No one can figure that one out. I think they said that you had some fractures on the back of your head, but those too will heal with some time. She finished examining Gretchen and gave her another big smile. By the way, my name's Terry, and I'm the nurse practitioner that's been assigned to monitor you till you're well enough to resume your life as best you can. She walked away from the bed and wheeled a monitoring station over, placing a series of sensors and a blood pressure cuff on Gretchen so that she could take her vitals. Danke, Terry, she managed to reply. She felt weak just from saying a few words and placed her head back on the pillow, wincing at the slight pain from the fractures. She watched as the nurse began to note her vitals in the handheld she had pulled from her pocket. Will, how long have I been here? Gretchen struggled, trying to remember which language she needed to speak. Oh, you've been out for about 2.5, almost 3 days. Not a long time, but long enough that your doctors were worrying if you're ever going to wake up. Terry began to look at the IVs running out of Gretchen's arm. She started walking over to a cabinet that hid a small refrigerator on the opposite side of the room, and pulled a small bag of fluid. Came back over and hung it on an open hook, removing the tubes. And from the empty bag, my page keeps jumping, sorry. And pulled, okay, removing the tubes from the empty bag and connecting it to the new one. Just some nutrients to help your body continue repair itself. The doctors were also wanting to inject you with some medical nanobots, but to help you speed up the healing, but they need your consent before they can do that. She finished with her checks and tasks, satisfied that Gretchen was going to be good for a while. You should be good for right now. Speaking of consent, I do need to tell you there are a few lawyers from Umaker Industries out in the lobby waiting for you to wake up. They said they need you to sign some paperwork finalizing your inheritance of the company. They have been there for the better part of the time you've been here. Terry mentioned as she rolled the cart back to its little alcove in the wall next to Gretchen's bed. All right, Miss Uhrmacher. I will be back in about an hour to check on you again. If you need anything in that time, here's the call button, and here's the control for the entertainment center. The nurse handed Gretchen a plastic box with buttons down the length. Again, thank you, Terry. I think it's okay for the lawyers to come in. I just need to get everything done and over with. Gretchen sighed, knowing that she was about to get hit with a lot of questions and paperwork. She lifted her right hand, making sure she could move it, noting that other than some bruising along her arm and in the crooks of her hand between the thumb and pointer finger, there was no real damage. On further examination, the bruise went into the palm and was in the vague shape of the grip of Christian's gun. Satisfied her hand would work well enough to sign things, she laid her arm back on the bed and decided to close her eyes till the lawyers came in to talk, nodding off almost immediately. Oh, I love Star Trek, Leon. And that's the end. Sorry that was so long.
Holy shit. Okay. Now, don't get me wrong, and you and I have had this conversation before.
Yes.
The fact that German is your more native tongue and English is your second language, that probably could have lost about 1,500 words in verb phrases. That would be more, but that's something you're going to go back through. So I was listening to the story. Right. I was into the story, not everything else. And like I was having a conversation with Leon in the comments, you're personally responsible for bringing me more into sci-fi, mill sci-fi. We won't talk about Manticore. It just everything that you bring to the table. We see a lot of all these book shows and book talk shows and everything else, and everybody is fantasy or romance or that ugly fucking word that I don't like, romantasy. That's what's popular on book talk, booktube, the whole 9 yards. But one thing that I absolutely love about you is that you and Delia, Julie with the pig leg, we're doing things with sci-fi and dystopian, and we're keeping it entertaining and new. I did not see those twists coming.
I didn't either. And usually I could pick up on it. I'm like, okay, here we go. No.
Oh.
But of course it was the father's best friend. Because why the fuck wouldn't it be? Sorry. That kind of pissed me off a little bit. I'd rather it be a fucking stranger. Honestly, I would. I would rather it be a fucking stranger than somebody who has looked into my fucking eyes for X number of fucking years of my life and the entire time has been planning to 86 my ass.
Right? I mean, but we always hurt the ones we love, and keep your enemies close, or keep your friends close, your enemies closer. It's bound to happen. Just saying.
It was bound to happen, and one night it did. Except for mama didn't come, or daddy didn't come home and catch mama without the kids. Okay? Yeah, everybody went fucking dark as shit tonight. And the last one up is Patrick, which makes me wonder.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
I'm scared. Now, if somebody would stop texting me on the side, we'd be great.
I know who that is.
Oh shit balls. Patrick's chapter is called Voice of Sacrifice.
Oh shit.
No such luck. I do want one quick thing before you start that, if you don't mind.
Nope, go for it.
Everybody, our lovely CR McCormick right now is evacuating from her place in the middle of fucking nowhere. The fire apparently that is in Canada is 2 hours away from their homestead. Please keep her in your prayers. Everything is fine right now, but more than likely she will not be in contact with us until
They
later
find some.
when they know more. But I did tell
Yeah.
her to stay in contact, be safe, keep us up to date with what's going on. But everybody light a fucking candle, say a goddamn prayer, because if anything happens to her, I'm crossing the fucking the border illegally.
We're coming with you.
Yeah, exactly. Well, guess what? I got to drive up
What?
to you guys, and then we're taking your car.
Yeah, you got to pass us to get
Your
there.
card.
So
Yeah, so we'll go up and go out there and do whatever we got to do. Okay. After 6,000 plus words, please bear with me while I go empty 4 glasses of sangria.
How come everybody else gets adult juice boxes? I do not get an adult juice box. Somebody has to be.
I don't drink adult juice boxes. If that makes you feel better.
It does actually a little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
I just don't drink alcohol very often. Like
no,
it's
but I
like,
got to see you do it one time, and that was fun.
yeah, the margaritas or whatever. Wait, what was it? What was I
No,
drinking?
I'm talking about at PAC.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm like, what did I? What were? Oh, whatever.
What was it that you brought to the room? Not the
Yeah,
little
whatever
people,
Patrick. Yeah, whatever Patrick brought to the room. Bazooka Joe.
That was not Bazooka Joe.
That's funny. I was doing some research on my grandfather's company in World War II, and Bazooka Joe got mentioned in the article this
Watermelon
morning.
margaritas.
Watermelon margarita. Oh, so it was a margarita.
It was a margarita. Well, I couldn't remember what we were pre-gaming with.
Yeah.
I didn't get any of that, and I got like 2 sips of a tequila sunrise and 1 rum and coke, and then I had too many people trying to pull their dresses over their head, so somebody had to be the responsible adult. So I got to be the responsible adult. It was fine. Everybody made it back to their room. Nobody ran out into traffic. That I did my job.
Yep. We all survived. That was
We
the
all
important
survived.
part. So you got to play handler for the ball, basically.
I did get to play handler. Though there is a really cool picture of me, Cash, or Lizzie. I'm sorry, Izzy. I don't know why L came out. Oh, E. Okay. And I think it's Patrick and Knight. I think that's the 4 of us in the picture.
Proctor in real life.
No. We had 2 girls that literally thought that they could pull their dresses over their head, and we were too close to the door, and we kept walking outside for cigarettes. So when this group went out, I went out at the same time, would smoke with them, and then I would like herd everybody back inside. And we were all kind of just taking turns when we would go outside for cigarettes. Well, here's the fun thing. While we were standing outside, they were like, "Hey, do you think I can make it across the street?" No, you cannot. Why? Because we're going to go back inside because I think they're playing cha-cha sled again. It was not cha-cha slide again. It was save a horse, ride a cowboy. But I still got everybody back in the building.
Yeah.
Oh, we were at a fantasy ball after our shining.
And they were pulling it up over their head, their dresses up over their heads. They were very, very inebriated.
They were very drunk. Hell yeah, ride a cowboy. Which was fun. Which, you know what? These are people who have kids and everything like that, and they're away from they're away from the little ones that constantly hang on them, and they got to cut loose. Which, hey, if all I had to do was just not to make sure everybody had a good time, everybody made it back up to the hotel room. That's what I did. And as soon as I was like, hey, I can't feel my feet anymore, and I had already ditched the shoes because I'm smart. I had already ditched the shoes. But it was like, hey, I can't handle this anymore. My head's throbbing. Um, it was just very loud. And I had told Izzy, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna head back up to the room. I said, you got this. And she's like, yeah, I got this. I'm like, okay. So I headed back up to the room.
I streamed live before that. I think it was before that I streamed live while a bunch of ladies and Patrick were on the dance floor dancing and screaming out Lady Marmalade. So, I mean,
we all had fun. It was just
we
the
all had
fact that
fun.
somebody
And
had
like
to
you
be
said,
the adult of the situation, and I was like, hey, I wasn't that far in. I was literally
right.
two sips and one drink, and by the time I had gotten the second drink, I had taken 2 sips of it, and I did the cardinal roll. Now, mind you, I'm in a room full of mainly chicks, and there were some guys in there, but I knew everybody. But I did the cardinal roll. I left my drink unattended, and even though I had somebody watching it, she had an issue with another person that she was trying to handle, and she turned
Right.
her back.
So she
And
got
I'm
pulled
like,
away.
yeah. And I asked her, I said, how long was it left? And she's like, oh my God. And she's like, I am so sorry. I said, don't worry about it. And I just handed it to one of the ladies that were walking around collecting. And I said, this got left unattended. And she's like, I will dispose of it right now. And everything got handled. You know, it was a great time. I rather enjoyed it. I mean, there's really very little proof I was even there except for some pictures, but it was fun.
I'm okay. I'm fine. I'm fine.
Are you fine, or is it I'm gonna have to scold somebody fine?
Nope.
Izzy?
I'm fine. This is fine. This is fine. The world was on fire yesterday. It's on fire today. It'll be on fire tomorrow. We just ignore side comments and side conversations.
Um, unless it is about our friends, and then we handle it very well. But
Oh, yes, we handle that. No, no, there's you know, multitasking because ADHD, possibly autistic brain with fermented grape and orange juice. You know, there's things. There's things. But that's okay. Oh, well, I mean, yeah, sure. I recognize Americans have a kind of love-hate relation with France. Here's the thing. As someone who has a surname in her family tree of Bertouillier, um, I'm wondering why the community kicked my family out, but on the other hand, I know why the community kicked my family out, and as well they should. Um, but at the same time, um, France and America has had a very involved history, right? You know, the whole reason that we are the size we are is because we made a purchase from the French government and got Louisiana Purchase, right? Now you add to that France gave us the Statue of Liberty, right? The thing that we look to as our representation of freedom and, bring me you're tired, you're hungry, you're poor, you're disenfranchised. And the French gave us that. The French have always had revolution, right? And, when they see something that is wrong, the people rise up and do something about it, so Right. And I've heard a lot of people that say, "Don't go to Paris. Don't go to Paris." Um, the snobbery or whatever. We do have an ad starting in about 5 minutes. So when that's over, we'll read Patrick's and get this wrapped up tonight. But yeah, I am very proud of my French heritage in the fact that this explains why I see injustice and I feel it necessary to speak up and say something. It's deep seated in my blood. And but yeah, Lady Marmalade, that song, um, and the movie it was from, it's very much about women taking back their power. And yeah, we like it. The French have taught us how to stand up and say enough is enough. Here's the line. Don't cross it. So, anyway, my side whatever.
But you know, another thing that the French gave us, and a lot of people don't know this, but the very first burlesque dancers were French.
Mm.
So,
Oui.
I mean, they gave us a lot of stuff. I don't understand the French's obsession with eating snails. I don't. Um, I think they need to be left in the garden where they belong. And anybody that wants to say anything, I have been presented with snails. I smelt it before I ate it, and I was like, no.
Mhm.
Everybody's like, well, it's just like eating a fried mushroom, and I'm sitting there like, and it took me until I was in my 20s before I did that. Okay.
I still won't eat a fried mushroom.
I love fried mushrooms, but it's got to be done a very specific way.
He's talking about the butter. Oh my god, I hate snails.
It is definitely a culture thing, and I'm all for, trying almost anything once. Snails is not on that list. Oysters is not on that list. Lobster is not on that list unless the lobster meat is put into something else and I don't see the lobster, I'm good. Same thing with crab. So, I mean, different cultures have different choices.
Yeah.
I've had frog legs before. Those
I don't like frog legs.
It.
I don't like looking at frogs.
I didn't hate it, but I wasn't like in love with the taste either.
Well, for me, it was very gamey. And I've tried
gives
it more
you that.
At different places. I've tried it more than once. I don't like them. Now, I've never eaten crab.
I'm just grossed out by snails and slugs, and I don't.
You good? You're having a physical reaction the way I do with spiders. Okay.
Oh, look, I was having a negotiation with the spider that's living in my shower right now the other night because it was just sitting there over me. I was like, you stay there. I'm going to do my hygiene thing. You stay there.
Here's the question. If its body is this big, it's the spider's house now.
Yeah.
I'm gone.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yep.
I'm gone.
It's spider can have it.
Spider can have it.
It doesn't even
Don't
have
get
to
me
be that
started on
freaking big.
spider.
I'll be like, the spider can have this room until somebody else can come in here and catch it.
Well, there's that meme video where the woman is talking about how cold the temperatures are, and it's just her and Gary chilling. And this thing is like this freaking big in the corner of her room on the other side of the room, and it still looks like it could eat her skull. I'm like, no, we're done. We're done. Not happening.
Eating
Oh,
spider.
Leon,
Oh my god.
no. Oh, God. Oh, God.
You sick, twisted man. I'm here for it, but no.
I commend you because that is way more courage of eating courage than I have.
Well,
Like,
look, I have eaten some questionable ass shit. Okay, I have tried squirrel, possum, raccoon, shit like that. I tried it all, but at the same time, no.
Nope.
You okay over there?
Oh, God.
oh no, poor
Leon.
Izzy. I think we broke the Izzy. Leon broke the Izzy. That's the point of the show, though, yeah.
Delmonico, ribeye, T-bone. Okay. Filet mignon. Did you?
Overpriced piece of meat.
No. You haven't had a 4-star restaurant filet mignon before. Oh my God. But oh my God, steak. Okay, now I want a steak slathered in butter and pepper. Oh, okay. Yep. Okay.
With some garlic.
My stomach is a little bit better. Patrick, I just saw your comment.
Damage.
I will skin you alive later. Yeah, no. Filet mignon, Delmonico, T-bone, prime rib. No. See, you didn't have my mother's chicken. It was dry. Delmonico, ribeye, filet mignon.
Flank steak.
I mean, just flank steak. Okay. There we go. Angus burger. Okay. We're good.
Lamb chops are good. I haven't had lamb chops since I was little, though.
Because otherwise, I might have to end it out early and go hug the porcelain god.
Okay, gotcha.
So we're going to move on. Ad breaks end in less than 50 seconds.
And then we're going to hit the last one for tonight.
Oh, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. Chipmunks.
Okay, hold on. Are we talking Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers?
Yes, Chip and Dale.
Which I wouldn't be opposed to a live action of that, just saying. Or are we talking Chip and Dale's?
I think he's talking about Chip and Dale, the Disney characters. Because he's talking about Tick and Tack, which I vaguely remember from going to Euro Disney.
I wouldn't eat a squirrel, though. Common Tick and Tack. I will never eat Tick and Tack. Okay, got it. Now, here's the crazy thing. I absolutely hate squirrel. I hate squirrel. Hate them with a passion.
Is he still not going to eat one?
But I'm still not going to eat them, one. They are my nemesis. And when I go outside to the front porch and one is on my front porch, them's fighting words. And I may or may not get to be a crazy old man with a broom. Get off my lawn! But I don't have a problem with chipmunks, and I credit it to Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. Yeah, because they're sweet, they're amazing, they help people. Chipmunks are nice.
I had a chipmunk in my room a couple years ago. That was interesting.
Yeah, there we go.
They live in the wall, I think.
Right. Oh, dear God. Okay, I think we are ready, and we are almost at that 2-hour mark. I don't want to know how you know that. Anyway, okay, so we are back into Heart of Stone, where our hearts have been constantly and consistently ripped out, torn apart, stomped on, sliced to fucking ribbons. Chapter 24, Voice of Sacrifice. Mind you, I am 5 glasses in, and I feel toasty.
And Patrick already said this was like a fever dream.
Well, it's a good thing this fever dream of a mouth that is a little bit wishy-washy is reading it, because it's just going to be interessante. Scott's breath came in shallow bursts, his pulse echoing in his ears like war drums. The sigil on the second door glimmered with cold fire, its silver blue light painting the chamber in shades of twilight. The air smelled faintly of rain on stone, a scent that pulled at something buried deep in his memory. From the shadows beside the door, she emerged. Amelia's spirit glided forward, her gown flowing like smoke across a still lake, eyes bright with an unsettling mix of affection and calculation. "Come, child," she said softly, though the words rang like a summons in his bones. "Your next test awaits you. You have done well so far. I can see why you want my sweet Amanda, even if this seems a fool's game." Scott's throat felt raw when he spoke. "Why?" The single word carried all of the exhaustion of the last trial. Her lips curved, not in cruelty, but with some bittersweet knowing. "You know, Scott, I think I've finally discovered why you've always kept your distance." "Oh?" His voice was brittle, guarded. "Yes." She stepped closer, her presence cold and warm all at once, like moonlight on bare skin. "In your heart of hearts, you do love her, but your fear is not of the love itself." She let her fingers ghost along the carved edge of the door, and it shuddered at her touch. "Your fear is the sacrifice you must make." The words hung in the air like a tolling bell. He swallowed. "What kind of sacrifice?" "That is for this door to decide." Her eyes narrowed with ancient patience. Stone ground deep within the wall as the door slid open, releasing a slow breath of blue light. It seeped into Scott's skin, heavy in his chest, as though some unseen scale was already weighing his worth. "Step through," Amelia whispered. "But remember, sacrifice is never clean. It stains, it scars, and it marks those who make it." Scott hesitated at the threshold, knowing that whatever waited beyond would not just test him, it would change him. The blue light swallowed him whole. He stumbled forward. Cold marble gave way to damp earth. Mist swirled at his ankles. The air was heavy, wet with the scent of pine and iron. Somewhere ahead came a faint sound, soft at first, then sharper, the rhythmic beating of a heart. Shapes moved in the fog. Amanda stood in the center of a moonlit clearing, her hair loose and wild, eyes glowing with a quiet joy. In her arms, she cradled a small child swaddled in pale cloth, tiny fingers curled around her thumb. Scott froze, letting the sight pierce him. From the tree line, a tall figure emerged, wings glinting like stone in moonlight, but the face was human, softer. His hand rested on Amanda's shoulder. They looked at one another with a closeness Scott had never touched. A whisper slid past his ear, Amelia's voice curling like smoke. "One life for another. This is the way of the old magic." The man's voice carried through the clearing. "The curse will not let you remain as you are. One path ends your humanity. The other could end your place beside her. Choose wrong, and she will not choose you, Scott. Will you walk away? Will you still Will she still love you if it means losing this child?" What child? Scott's voice caught in his throat. Yours, came the man's voice. The baby stirred with a soft whimper that cut straight through him. You could take the curse, Amelia's voice went on, and remain by her side, not as a man, but as a guardian, neither alive nor dead, watching, never touching. Or you can walk away now, keep your humanity and watch her life unfold without you. Which will you give up? His human life, the safety of being just a man, was all he had ever wanted to keep. Accepting the curse meant surrendering that certainty forever, becoming something feared. But turning away meant losing Amanda and any chance to protect her. Scott's voice cracked. I would give it all for her smile, her safety, even if I wasn't the one she loved. They say if you love something, let it go. If it returns, it was meant to be. Hold on. Please pause. Pause. Do you know how many times I've done that and how many times I've got burned? So, it's great in romantic fiction. It's great. It's fine. But in real life, let it go. If it comes back, fuck that hoe. The whisper sharpened. And the child? If I stayed and the curse took me, she might lose me. And then the child. I couldn't let that pain and burden be hers, but I will not make her choose. I would love her regardless if I were human or gargoyle, but I would do anything or be anything in order to make her happy. I would be a lover, a fighter, a father, a memory. The ground trembled. The blue light roared back, ripping the vision away. Scott gasped as he found himself back in the circular chamber. Pain seared across his wrists. Looking down, he saw a rune burning into his skin, glowing before fading into a scar. What is this? I warned you, Amelia said from the shadows, her voice sweet and cold. You would be marked forever by your choice. But I chose her, Scott said fiercely. I would always choose her. I know. Her spectral hand cupped his cheek, though she could not wipe away the tear that slipped down his face. Scott, you are more than what your blood makes you, more than my curse. You are so much like my Ezra. She tapped his face gently, lips curling into a faint smile. Amelia? His voice was both hard and soft when speaking her name, her voice an echo on the wind. Yes? I can't figure you out. One moment you're warm, love, sunshine and rainbows. The next you're dark and bitter. Yes, she said simply. I am all of those things. I came from a time when magic thrived. I had love. I had family, hopes and dreams. Her voice dimmed. All of that was taken from me by men. They killed my mother, my lover, my sisters. Then they tried to kill me. Forgive me if I keep a little darkness close. Understandable, Scott murmured. Her head tilted. Why? Are you afraid this dual nature runs in my blood? That one day Amanda might turn it on you? Dun, dun, dun. The fact that my great grandmother's name is Amelia and her husband died right after they had their last child and she was left to fend for herself with 4 children. And she acts like that, Amelia? I feel this story deep in my soul. I feel Amelia's pain.
But you know what? This gives us a new understanding of the character because at one minute we're like, yes. Next minute we're like, what the fuck is wrong with her? And then we're like, no, we really don't like her. And now with the explanation, you're like, but she is us. She's
But
every
she is
freaking
us.
and any fucking guy ever do or any circumstance do her fucking wrong, and people still expecting her to be
Soft and gentle and nice after her whole world's been ripped apart.
right. And
You know what? Patrick? For a dude? You get it. You I need a pen. I moved my pen thing earlier.
I mean, there's just so much when it comes to, we don't like Amelia. No, we like Amelia. No, we don't like Amelia. And now it's like the roller coaster of it all, but also in the same thing of hitting as deep.
Mm-hmm.
Because every freaking woman is that way.
Yep.
We have been told to be soft and gentle and love the person that we're with regardless. And at the same damn time, we're plotting for them to be buried in the backyard.
For
Possibly.
research purposes, we are authors and we research various different crimes and methods of things so that we can accurately portray them in our show. Not that we would ever do such a thing. Sorry, had to put that out there because
Exactly. Yeah, we're open mic. Gotcha. But at the same time, it's you know what? I can't get mad at her for it. They took everything. Now, all the times that we've actually been like, what a bitch, and be like, but looking at it now, going, but that's a very human ass fucking response.
Right?
That is.
Okay, it's green. That's good enough.
It doesn't matter as long as it rates.
Right, but if it were like pale orange on this color.
Sticky notes you're using right now.
I'm just saying. Okay.
Let me know when you're ready. Let's pray they cooperate tonight.
Let's pray Izzy can see the numbers that she's rating. All good. And yes, I am quite I'm over exaggerating. We're good.
I'm back. Sorry about that.
Welcome back. We are to the rolls. To the rolls.
Yeah, no, I had to go take care of my child.
Yep. I gotta say, I'm very, very happy that mine are legally adults. And here in the next couple of months, my youngest one is going to be legally able to do a bunch of shit, right? Across the board, age 21. And yet they somehow still need me. All the time.
I'd make a comment.
They'll always
But
need
I'm
their
not.
mother.
Yeah, they're
They'll
always going
always
to need their mom.
Their mother. But at the same time, like, they can still mostly function on their own. I just have to keep a roof over their head. All right, roll number one.
All right. $67.
67.
We're starting out kind of high tonight.
About midway. Okay, this one has been rolled before, but not picked.
Okay.
A character learns the last surviving member of a long forgotten royal family. What do they do with this newfound power? That could be worked into a lot of different things.
That could. Or end up as another damn story.
Right. Yes, it could end up as a whole nother work in progress.
Kind of have a book about that.
You do. You already have a whole book series.
Yes, a whole series that needs to be finished and put out. I needed to talk to you about that later, by the way.
Okay.
I was about to say, which one of us? You just pointed.
Either, both.
Okay, so we'll head over to the usual spot when we're
Yep.
done.
I have some I have some stuff I want to bounce off you guys, so
That's what we're here for.
Back to rolls.
88.
88?
88.
Okay. So that means we got to go down to 188 because we're pulling from prompts 100 through 200. Scroll down. Do I see the numbers on the page? Yeah, mostly. Okay, this one was one that we were going to look at in December and pull it out. Hey, Julie, do you have a D12 handy, or should we just make it this month?
No, I got a D12 handy. Hold on one second.
All right.
I think we always said if it came up, we were gonna do just this month, the current month that it fell in. But it's like no. I'll just break out the 12. Hold on. All right, got it. 12.
December. All right. Explore the consequences of a world where personal choices are restricted in December.
That would work because you have a lot of holidays in December.
Yep.
And then you also have the end of the year, which starts the beginning of the next. So that would fill into the sci-fi one that
Mm-hmm. Oh, and for the record, I did want to let everybody know I did finally yesterday add in the prompts that our visitors to our table in Green Bay so graciously added in. We may have to before next week randomize the lists so that way they're kind of merged in there, mixed in. But they have been added.
oh shit, reroll.
Okay.
It landed on triple zeros.
That was a critical failure.
Oh my gosh.
16.
What?
16.
Oh, okay.
That never happened.
All right. Now, the next one, these are starting first lines. Now, here's a key point for our new viewers. Starting first lines, I've done it where it's been a starting first line, and then as I'm writing, I realize, oh, wait, something else happens ahead of this that explains it and is the rest of the scene, and I've gone back. So, start there. Because the whole point of it is to get you moving forward. So this one, I could see Trisha going somewhere with this one. And yes, I said Trisha. The only thing I could hear was the sound of my heartbeat and the footsteps behind me.
Ooh.
That's not only just a Trisha prompt, that's a very Dahlia prompt.
That's a very Dahlia prompt, but the more that Trisha has been, sharing with us these very much humanity based things, with Anna Smith and the one with the demon vampire kitty thing. I blanking on the name, but Nervash, and she's sharing these very human.
Oh, let's not forget Aunt Betty.
Aunt Betty,
The
right?
kitty is named Ladybug.
That's right, Ladybug. It's just I can imagine Trisha starting something, a scene with any of her characters that she's already developed or a new thing, and starting this whole thing with the only thing I could hear was the sound of
Love
my
bug.
heartbeat and the footsteps behind me. Yes, love bug. I can see Trisha just devastating us with something either so very sweet or so very heartbreakingly devastating. Just
Right.
that's a Trisha prompt. Say again. The only thing I could hear was the sound of my heartbeat and the footsteps behind me.
65.
65. So that means it's 165 because we're pulling from the second half of the list. Scroll, 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 scroll. No, you have to re-roll. By the way, that being said, if you think of a starting first line, a piece of dialogue, a concept, please respond to our newsletter or share in the Discord. Not in the in the main writing prompts, not the 2025 season 2 writing prompts, but share them with us. You get credit if they are read aloud or picked.
Yes, very much so. 17.
117. Scroll up. Okay, this one has been rolled before, but not picked. And I know Kesh has used this one. If only she hadn't bought the red one.
Oh.
I remember that one.
That one was kind of just bonkers. I just kind of typed something up.
Nope. All right, on to fan favorite. Use this dialogue.
$80.
Seriously, what is that thing over there?
Oh,
5.
All right, so we go down just a little bit more to 105. Submitted by Julie. Sorry, it's just that I get very nervous when someone else is driving.
Didn't we have that not too long ago?
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
It wasn't selected. It wasn't marked as having been rolled.
That
Okay.
sounds.
We have 1 minute to an ad.
That sounds really familiar.
It probably does sound familiar.
Go back and
all right.
check them out.
So they are in the chat. We've got number 1 concept. A character learns they are the last surviving member of a long forgotten royal family. What do they do with this newfound power? Number 2 concept. Explore the consequences of a world where personal choices are restricted in December. Number 3, starting first line, the only thing I could hear was the sound of my heartbeat and the footsteps behind me. Number 4, if only she hadn't bought the red one. 5, Use this dialogue. Seriously, what is that thing over there? Number 6, dialogue. Sorry, it's just that I get very nervous when someone else is driving. Make your votes in the chat. Add.
Oh, Dahlia's down there.
Dahlia! All right. 3.
Of course, Dahlia would pick number
5,
3.
Yeah, I know.
4, 5, 3, 6.
6.
All right. All right, we have got 7 votes in and 9 people in the chat. You 2 people who have not voted. Gimme, 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 gimme. Because you won't like me when I'm angry. Give me.
Who hasn't voted?
I haven't voted yet.
Oh.
Julie hardly ever votes, if we're going to be honest.
I wait until we need like a tiebreaker or something like that.
Pick what you want to do, woman. But you are part of the group. See, here's the thing that Julie has not gotten through her thick skull after a year and a half of doing this show. She started it all. She's a fearless leader. But is she the fearless leader and the host? Yes. Is she also one of our prompters? Yes. And she gets to have a say. Vote.
It's a hard choice.
Well, then roll a d6. If you can't decide, because this is why we started rolling in the first place, if you can't decide, roll a d6. And if you don't like it, roll again.
I want to pick mine, but I don't want to be biased that I pick mine. Okay.
All right, give me just a second.
Fell off the table. Ah, shit, but it landed on mine. So that's
2 votes.
3 for 5, 2 for 3, 1 for 4, 2 for 6.
All right, Julie went what?
When I rolled, it landed on 6, so I picked
6.
mine.
Okay.
So that's 3 for 5, 2 for 3, 1 for 4, 2 for 6.
Well, and now, it said we had 8 people in here, and now we've got 9 people in here. So we do ad breaks ends in 7 seconds. We are very close. I mean, yes, 5 is winning by 3. And 3 and 6 each have 2 votes. Poor Kane, who hasn't submitted anything, even though he really, really fucking should, has voted for 4. Thank you. Without baby tongue and eating spiders. Thank you. I would greatly appreciate that, Leon. So the official, yes, called out. I know the way your brain works. Remember? I quite often can read your mind, and it's a scary talent. We've already covered this. Okay, so it looks like the official is option 5. Use this dialogue. Seriously, what is that thing over there? Now, if you can't get that prompt in there, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. The whole point of it is for it to spark your imagination. If one of the other ones really trip your trigger more, go for it. If you want to try and pull a Patrick or a Kesh or a Dahlia and put as many as you possibly can into a work, do that too. Okay? But the official that's a discussion for another time. So the official is seriously, what is that thing over there? Use that dialogue, use the others. Due August 16th, 3 p.m. Central Daylight? Yeah, we're still in Central Daylight Time. I think. Maybe.
No, I thought we were Eastern.
No. It's 4 p.m. our time.
Oh, okay.
It's 3 p.m. I go based off of Central Time because that's Julie and Patrick times right in the center. Adjust your times accordingly. Leon, please adjust your times for France. Which, funnily enough, you joined way after, but I did have a scene. You can find it over on our YouTube channel where one of my characters is actually in Paris. And I totally fucked up all the pronunciations of the ruse. But there we go. You can always check that out.
And no, there's no maximum. Just remember that somebody has to read it. Okay, Leon?
Right. Kesh just did one that was 6,000 plus words, so I made her read it herself. But normally I'm the one that reads it out. The sweet spot is about 3,000, 3,500 in order to get us to our million word goal count. But most people go somewhere between 1,000 to 2,000. 1,500 is about our average, I would say.
Yeah, between 15 to 1,900
I
is
will.
our typical average. What?
There's a cat. I see a cat.
I see a cat that keeps trying to take off with my dice.
Was that Stormy?
Yes.
Yeah. Because Stormy's more brown. Chloe is more gray. On the screen, at any rate. Like,
right.
The way it shows through.
Stormy is a dark gray tiger stripe, and Chloe is a blotchy light gray.
Okay, so number 80. I gotta grab this. And that means, okay, so Julie, what do you think? Seriously, what is that thing over there? Can you and I work that into our current works in progress for this week that we absolutely failed to get done in time? Or any of these? Would any of these work with yours?
Hold on a second. Let me scroll up or can you read them off again? I mean, I can work in the my line. I don't trust anybody driving. I know I can work that one in, but
yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that I can work in either seriously, what is that thing over there? And the only thing I could hear was the sound of my heartbeat and the footsteps behind me. By the way, here's something, Leon Kane, since you are newer. Exactly, right? You already get 14. I did want to make mention, since you guys are newer to or not regular yet, if pronouns need to be changed to make sense within your story, go for it. We have had people say my wife and change it to my fiance. We have had the infamous Ethan prompt where people changed it to other things. The prompt was, I would have lived longer if it hadn't been for Ethan. And I changed it to, They would have lived longer if it hadn't been for Finn Connors. So you change it. It's supposed to spark your creativity and get your creative juices flowing, get you to where you're writing. That's the important bit. If you need to change present tense to past tense, if you need to change it to dialogue, do it.
Though
Do
I
it.
do think it's funny now that we have the infamous Ethan prompt, and anytime we find something with Ethan on it, with it, anything like that, we've got to literally take pictures of it and send it to each other because it's funny.
He's going. Leon says he's going to make you proud, Julie.
All right. Well,
Hold on.
Next week.
Hold on. I'm the one with French heritage.
Yeah, I'm
Montigny.
English Scott. I'm English Scott Dutch.
Julie is our fearless leader, though, and it's her
She is
prompt
our
he's
fearless
talking
leader.
about, and it's her prompt
She-
he's talking about.
She is our fearless leader. It is her prompt. Well, number 6 was, sorry, it's just that I get very nervous when someone else is driving. That was submitted by Julie because she and I actually have that in common. We do not do well when we're in the passenger seat at all.
Passenger princess.
No.
And for over.
You do decent with me.
That's because she trusts you. That's that's a whole different.
I don't think she does sometimes.
Look, okay, when you've been friends with somebody for 27 going on 28 years, okay, you get to a point of trust. But when we go on long trip hauls, yeah, the first year and a half, I was scared out my gourd. So I paid attention to my phone. And now I still pay attention to my phone so that I don't constantly go, can I drive now? Can I drive now? Can I drive now? Can I drive now?
I might actually let you if you asked.
I just figure because of the nature of our trips when we take them,
yeah,
that driving and your hands on the wheel is a sense of control over the situation.
Yeah.
So I just let it go and wait until you say, hey, can you drive? I'm getting tired. And then I'm like, yeah, sure. Thanks. Cool.
But see, the whole thing is well, that was supposed to be the case on the way to and from Wisconsin. That was not the case, and I ended up as the so-called passenger princess that literally was like, I'm going to die before I ever make it back into fucking Tennessee.
I love the scenic route.
Did I give my son enough hugs and kisses before I left the fucking house in case these were the last ones? You know, because Chicago got freaking iffy as hell because the driver decided to get in the hammer down lane and hit the brakes. That was scary enough. And as somebody who grew up in Chicago for a very formative part of my life, but I've drove through there hundreds of times. I've also drove through Atlanta. And if you can drive through freaking Atlanta without a fender bender, mild cussing, and a sense of, no, you get in that damn lane, you find a fucking truck, and you stay on that fucking truck's ass unless they get off. This is the way I drive. This is the way I was taught to drive. Grass don't grow under my wheels, and I'm good with it. But at the same damn time, I'm sitting there going, I'm not going to make it to Green Bay, and I'm not going to make it back to Tennessee. I did. It did scare the shit out of me the entire time.
I enjoyed the scenic route that Izzy took us through Chicago. That was awesome.
I missed a turn and then another turn and then another turn.
Hey, I got some great pictures out of that, okay?
We did. We got some great architectural pictures that are going to be fan-flipping-tastic in, descriptions in novels. That's all I got to say.
It's amazing. But it is, we are approaching that 3-hour mark on our counter. Do you want me to go ahead and start a raid, or?
I think I've had too many adult juice boxes to go to a raid tonight. I'm gonna go over to Discord. Um, but it is up to you. For the record, that means that Julie and I will not be submitting this week as your fearless leader, co-host, designated reader. Bit, do not. Wow, I caught that before it fell on the floor. Mm. We will not be going live tomorrow. But
No,
Julie and I are both working on our Julie and I are working on both of us are working on our personal channels. So be sure to follow us individually as well. Catch us when we go live. Mark that notification. Join our newsletter that goes out now on Mondays around noon-ish Eastern time, Central
I
time,
think
noonish Central time, with the prompts, information on how to submit it, the information, all the things. And
yeah, also I did remember that we're supposed to be fixing the floor in the laundry room tomorrow. So and
mhm,
I just realized that because we didn't get to it today because of us going live. So we
right.
don't need that kind of saws going off in the background uh, while we're trying to do something. So again, catch us over on the Discord. Hit the notifications. Follow us all individually so you know where we're at, when we're at, and we'll catch y'all again next week. Have a great week. Remember, don't add to the population. Don't subtract from the population. Do not land your ass in jail. And if you do, assert dominance and then call me to make sure I've got bail money. Otherwise, past that, be brave, be bold, but always stay humble. And we will see you again right here next week, same time, same channel.